Alright, let's watch this. Tell me people watching.
Okay, we are. I'm not sure if we are live, but if we are, I'm here at SLR 360 headquarters. Yes, we are live, and yeah, I am here with Lachlan Martin, Tim James, Joshua Butterfield. How are you?
I'm good, Liam. Thank you. I'm going good, mate.
Yeah,
I'm
and
doing well. You know, looking forward to a good episode today. Yeah,
pretty
bro.
pretty good night.
Yeah, it is a pretty good night, I must say. All right, so what's on the agenda tonight, Liam? What are we talking about?
We have got so tonight we're gonna go to the round recap. And the first game on here is the Seagulls v Broncos. And I've got a guest here in Tyrone Clay. How are you?
Yeah, good. Appreciated to be on here, actually. Thanks, boys.
I got a
Yeah, no
question.
worries.
Got a question for you. So obviously you've had the win this week. Against the Broncos. Was Matty Harris like? Is he really expecting a huge performance from?
I I don't think a huge performance. I just think a good performance is what we wanted as a team. We don't need to be really fancy or anything. We just need to get out there and play footy. I just didn't think we need to expect to win huge. I just think we just need to expect to win, which is what we did.
Well said.
Okay, so we'll start off with the game. Um, so the Manly Seagulls they ended up crossing over. I believe it was they really started the game strong. I remember actually they started the game strong through the prop forwards. They first settled and ran over off a kick, and it was really just dominance from the Seagulls. Like I think their middle forwards set the tone so big in Jesse Bennett,
Yeah,
Brad Goodwin, both sad. Like he was incredible at hooker. That was one of the best hooker performances, hands down, I've ever seen.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, Sadler had an amazing game that night, and the middle's just really working their asses off. It really allows the backs to really just play with a lot of confidence and um, yeah, just a lot of confidence, which I think really helped them for that game.
Yep, it
Yeah.
definitely did. Tim, Lachlan, you guys got any thoughts on the game?
No, didn't watch the game, mate. It was an interesting game. I'll say that. You know the Manly team, they were good. The forward pack was I thought that game was a real battle for forward packs. Levi Raymond tried his hard out, still wasn't good enough though. Got two tries in there. But overall, nothing too special.
Broncos got out muscled. I thought
Mm,
they were out muscled by that big Manly forward pack in like Jesse Bennett. I think that's shown why he's so bloody good and why
yeah,
he's so inspirational to that Manly. Did you guys see? I'm pretty sure he's coming off the bench this week.
No, I didn't see it.
He's coming
Who
off
is?
the Jesse Bennett. I think he's
Yeah, a
come.
bit of an interesting decision.
We'll get into it later,
Um,
but it
I
was
think it's
interesting.
more of a I think it's more of a decision to bring a lot of firepower off the bench,
Yeah, that's
more than
fair.
anything. Because you saw as soon as the forwards started to get tired and they started interchanging, the Broncos had that period where they scored, what was it, two tries really quickly, and it looked like they started to kind of swing the momentum. Uh, so I think that's the reason why Jesse's coming off the bench.
yeah, but he's one of the best forwards in the game. Like, surely you
Yeah,
could. It just doesn't make sense to me at all.
Oh, but
it,
I can see why because I mean, I think of Bo Sadler as a forward who's kind of near that. Like, he's a utility. They're both elite utilities, and they both can play. They're elite forward utilities, and I just think that when you need a forward utility like Bennett, like it's good to have one off the bench. I think they have to start one of Bennett or have one of Bennett and Sadler off the bench. And how Sadler played last week, I just can't leave him out of the hooker role.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that
Um,
is fair enough then. But I think that personally, even so, who's the other? Are they starting Bryce Goodwin? Are they?
I think they're starting Brad Goodwin,
Yep.
but he's in freaking amazing form.
Yeah, but personally, I'd be swapping Brad Goodwin just about around the one firepower off the bench. I feel like Jesse Bennett's more a forward that sets the tone, and Brad Goodwin can bring the firepower.
Oh,
But that's
that's
my personal opinion.
I can see where you come from, but I think it's really opposite. But if I was starting Bennett somewhere, I'd honestly start him at second row, like they did last season with Blackburn back to the bench.
Yeah, I could see that as a possibility too. But I think both players are going to be. They're pretty good to be honest. Blackburn's had actually been playing decently to be fair. But I think Bennett in the second row for me. He's too good to. I think he's an any to play to be honest wherever he plays.
Yeah, we're getting a bit sidetracked, but Tyrone, I've got a question for you. You had one of your best performances in your career alone. A good performance. What really took you? Did Manly bring the best out of you? Like this, Matthew Harris seems to be getting the best out of every player on his team. Is this really why you're playing so well?
Yeah, I think it is. I think with the leadership of Matthew Harris, Kane Chapman, Kenny, and Dingo, I think we all just idolize them, and we all just want to work for them, and that's why we all play so well. And
Do
that's
they
why.
threaten you in any way?
What?
Do they threaten you in any way?
No, they don't.
Chicken.
Play good or you're sacked.
Yeah.
Play good bench.
Play good
if you're on
bench.
the bed.
Nah.
What's
Good
the
performance. Good performance.
Hey Tyron, just Lachlan here. What's the difference between the Rabbitoh system and the Manly system?
I think the Manly system is more trying to bring up, trying to improve players. Well, I think the South, the thing at South, I think they're just looking to see what they could do on the field. I think it's more what you do off the field matters to what you actually do on the field. You got to train, put in the effort, and I just think Manly are a better team at doing that than South.
So in other words, Liam, you're a bad vice captain. Naughty. All right, thanks, Tyron. That's all I wanted
You're welcome.
to know. Should we move on to the next game then?
Yes, we should.
Thank you, Tyrone.
Thank you, Tyrone.
What's the next game?
Next game.
We'll go with the Rabbitohs Eels one, since that's the next one we have on our notes.
Okay. The Rabbitohs Eels game, I thought that this was a really, since I played in it, I mean, I don't think that, I think the Eels are still a very good team, but the main takeaway for me of this, was Isaac Edwards and Ash Crutcher. They just linked up really well, and I just thought that set the tone for the Rabbitohs early. The way they linked up was just really good, and I think that they really shown why that they're starting over. They've earned their starting roles this season.
Yeah, look, on that note about the halves, I do think their half partner did work. Obviously, we both came off the bench last season. I think it did work. I think the main thing from this game for me was about the forwards. I think South's forward pack just dominated deals. Drake Dranigan, the rookie, what a game he had for his first game. Jake Tuss was brilliant at lock. He replaced Jordan Williams, who obviously the Australian lock. Big shoes to fill in, but he did quite well with it. And I think, on the other hand, the Eels, the only players who really do much of anything for me. Well, I thought Tilisenadek had a really underrated game. in a bit inside, and Joey Kelly obviously scored both their tries. So he
Yeah,
was trying his hardest.
Joey Kelly's still in his best form. I think last year he really hit some good patches, and he's brought it into this year. Definitely one of the top 3 wingers in the comp at the moment.
I'd say the best winger.
I'd say the best. No,
I'd say him. I'd say between him and KCK.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I think, but the thing is though, I think yeah, I don't think he's I think that I would bring in Joey at fullback, not for the Eels, but I'd bring him in at fullback for I think Joey should probably sign with a team that needs a fullback this season, off season.
Why's that, Liam?
Because I reckon he'd be a great fullback.
You sure?
Yeah, he can step. That's basically what
I think he needs more ball, Joey. Like, you look at that game on the weekend. I don't know why, but the Eels kept going towards their rookie winger. What's his name again? The rookie winger for the
Xavier Demando or something.
Yeah, they kept going. No stock to him, right? Obviously, it's his first game, but they kept going towards him and not going towards the player that kept scoring their tries.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Like, they have to be better in that sort of situation. I don't know why they weren't going towards Kelly pretty much all game. Every time he got the ball, he looked fire. But just weren't giving him enough ball. And he scored 2 tries. And I felt like he got no ball.
Yeah, it's just, just a matter of luck, I guess. What Charlie Butler and, whatever he wanted to do, give it to Joey or not. I couldn't really decide on it. But yeah.
I think in this game, one of the things, as you said, Lachlan touched on it, Drake Drenigan, awesome game. I hate to be the guy, but I kind of said to Jai we should move Drenigan to the second row. So I was really happy with him performing because that made me look good. But yeah, Drake Drenigan is looking like he could be something huge in that second row, and he's got potential. So I'm really interested to see what he does.
Yep.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Another thing I thought was a bit interesting there was Eli Barnes. He looked a bit quiet, didn't he? For that game, bit of a surprising. Didn't really do all too much. To be fair, though, I will say, I don't think much of the the spine in general from that game, other than Aaron here, of course, did too much.
Yeah. Apart from,
it's just like,
yeah,
there's the errors we made were like really silly, and they like scored off of plenty of them. So like,
well, yeah, the first literally the first touch from Eli Barnes was an error, and it led to Aaron here scoring.
Yeah, so like we just need to work on the errors, and I think we'd be fine. Like if it wasn't for those errors, I think we would have had a chance at actually winning. But instead, we just couldn't hold the ball, and however it went, doesn't really matter. We can work on it. Just keep going forward.
Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you off there, Tim. You look at the first try. Aaron here picked it up off Eli Barnes' carry. Take that try off it. Say Eli Barnes holds on to it. That's 20-12. 8 points in it there. You weren't really. I don't think it was really 14-point difference. I'd say 10 to 12-point difference, maybe 8-point difference.
Anything could happen, mate. Anything could have happened. Like those errors we made. I think we made around maybe 8-7 errors. We made probably around there, and some of them just we conceded points on those. So like, if we work on the errors, then we'd be fine. Like we would have seen a bit of a closer game, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate, and yeah,
just how it goes, I guess.
Yeah.
So played next. Oh,
what game was it? Hang on. You guys take over the show for a second. I am going to be back.
Well, next game was. I'd say.
Come on, Tim.
Next game was Penrith versus Warriors. So it was a very poor performance from the Panthers team as usual. There was so many like unforced errors resulting in easy field position for the Warriors side. You know, Chance Bunce, so he was a bit quiet in the first half, but he had an amazing second half to increase the end score line. The Panthers' middles were better, but edges were letting them down a little bit, and the potential of both Magale and how do I say it?
Cahill.
No. There's another way. Jack Carl. But you know, at the moment, their kicking game was like immaculate. It was really good, and you know, Lachlan Sinclair and Liam Rogers, you know, good on them. I don't know why they were mentioned in this.
I actually think that Magellan Cahill, is it, how do you pronounce it? Carl. I think their kicking games were subpar. That like their kicking games were kind of poor. Yeah.
Oh, I disagree with Jack Carl. He kicked 300 meters or something. That's not.
Yeah, but if you had a look at at the placement of his kicks, like don't get me wrong, the distance he had, and there was times where he did show good decision making. Like I think there was a couple of times on fourth tackle that he kicked it when Bunce was out of position, but when they would get close to the line, and he would put a bomb up, it would always be too deep. It would always be locked up in the end goal, which led to seven tackle sets. So, yeah, the Warriors had 4 or 5 of them in that game, and it's just. I know he's a rookie, and he'll definitely improve on that. I think that's what he'll be looking to do, but I think especially since he's a more experienced player, that the Panthers should be looking to use James Thorne in the short kicking distance. I think he brings a lot with his short kicking game.
I've got something to say on James Thorne right now. He is so out of form. I mean, I wouldn't. This is just me, but I just think he is one of the most out of form halves in the comp, and he just doesn't look settled in there. I don't know. Well, he's got to get out of this slump, and yeah, he's just fallen off a cliff since midway through last season. Sorry, he's midway through last season. He was probably considered as the top half in the game, and now he's like not even a top 3 half in the game.
Yeah, fair enough. Still time to bounce back, James.
Look. Maybe he hasn't been in the best form, but I still think his leadership alone led us for a lot of last year, even when he wasn't performing. And I think if maybe he just gets, I think, you know, we probably should be, you know, I'll take personal note here. You know, myself, I didn't have a great performance on the weekend. I think I probably let the team down. I probably should have, you know, had I maybe gained a bit more momentum forward earlier in that half, maybe he would be half the amount and do more of it. So I don't think you can't look at it and say it's all Thorne's fault. There's more than just that.
It's more than one player's fault.
I'm not saying it's all Thorne's fault. I'm just saying Thorne isn't in form.
Yeah,
he's not. But I don't think he's getting as much good ball as he used to as well. I think that was also a big change. Especially, who was the old half?
It was Mason Yates.
Mason Yates, especially after the departure of Mason Yates, I think it really kind of affected his game a lot. I think he was so used to playing with Mason Yates, and Mason Yates had a specific way of playing that it just kind of affected his game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I do want to on the note though, I do want to shout out one of my boys here who I think had a terrific game. Lachlan Sinclair, what a game he had for us.
He had an amazing game.
Considering we lost, I don't remember the scores. It was a big margin, 24 points I think it was. Sinclair, I think I'm really impressed with how he played. Made up for me literally having my statistical worst game ever. So, you know, impressed with how he went.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right,
Sinclair
next
was
game.
good.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just think Sinclair was pretty good. Did we touch on Liam Rogers?
No, we
Liam
didn't.
Rogers had an amazing. Was that his debut?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, he had an amazing debut. 2 tries. Always, he was always the first person to kind of put his hand up at the start of sets, really take the to take the ball forward, and I really liked what he's bringing to the Warriors game.
Yeah, he's been really good. And he's most wouldn't have thought he would have kept his spot this song. I don't even think I would have expected him to keep his spot. He's kept his spot over Daniel Engo, which Engo, in all due respect, isn't the best player, but I don't
He's still
think he's decent. But I don't think many would have expected Rogers to
I mean,
over
Ango's moved. Sorry to cut you off, but Ango's moved to the prop. So
who
yeah.
dropped out.
was it Relentless?
Oh, must no.
A
Relentless was
relentless.
off the bench. I'm pretty sure.
Walker? I actually don't know. I'm
Oh,
just
it was
naming players at
Walker.
this
Yeah, it
point.
was Walker.
Yeah, okay.
Walker didn't have a terrible game either.
It was just to make way for Liam Rogers.
Yeah. Okay, we're going on to the final game.
Yep. Okay, we'll go on to the final game now. Something that I think that the Cowboys Raiders game, a huge takeaway from this game for me was, Chris Lord, the captain of the new captain of the Cowboys. Bloody awesome. The new generation of this SRL is just becoming these ball playing locks are becoming so important, and I'm loving it. Like you got Chris Lord, he had 2 try assists and a try. Like it's unheard of for locks. It was unheard
Yeah.
of a couple seasons ago for these locks to be getting try assists as much as we saw in round 1. Like and Jake Tussey had 2 try assists against the Eels. Like the ball playing that locks have been doing this early on in the season has been great. I've just been loving seeing it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's really good to see. I think even like you can see that they're starting to realize that the more better, if a lock and ball play, it's absolutely dangerous. I mean, you've seen a few. We've seen obviously over the past season and a half, Pete Veretto transferred from being a fullback to a lock, and that's been rather successful, I'd say. Bafiaras has done the same thing this season, going from being a prop to a lock.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw doing the same thing from a prop to a lock, so it's going to be interesting to see how these guys transition now.
Luke Shaw is more of a guy, say, run hard, tackle hard.
Yeah.
He's not really, yeah, but like he could prove me wrong, and I hope he does, but he's more of a guy to me that is like that just runs hard and tackles hard wherever he goes.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
really a
maybe
ball
that-
player.
the move to lock could have been something for his career. I mean, like
Yeah,
he
true.
put his hand up and said he wanted to do it. So, I mean, if he can see potential in himself, then I see it in him too. So I'll let it happen.
Totally
Yeah, for
agree.
sure.
Yeah, with the thing about Luke Shaw, I don't think they need that little ball playing lock at Parramatta though. Like you're good will be able to start to go. They've got their halves, Charlie Butler, Jaden White. They're experienced, I believe. Have they been the halves in season 1?
No.
Nah, they
Hayden
lost
White
Hayden
came in
Yates.
season 2.
Yates was the halves.
Right.
Halving run.
But they were the halves last season though, at least. They've got Joey Kelly. Obviously, you've got yourself, Tim James. They've already got a decent forward pack around them too. I think they don't really need that ball playing lock. They've also got Joey Kelly on the wing, so they don't really need them to be that ball playing lock that other teams do need.
Yeah, I mean, with the departure of the captain, Kobe Johnson, it was a bit hard for us because we lost those like X factor forwards. So it's like it's just happened. So we lost the ball playing like that Kobe was. But I mean, we don't really need that ball playing when we got like our edges to go to and all that stuff. So yeah,
Sendag had a pretty good game on the weekend. I think he's getting
yeah.
better.
Yeah, I think he was probably the best player on the field for Parramatta, behind Joey Kelly, I'd say.
Yeah, well, continuing on in the Cowboys Raiders game, I thought Luke Thompson tried hard, he tried really hard, but he didn't. Yeah, and something to take away for this was Jack O'Neill tried to force things, I think, too much, but I kind of think he had to. And yeah, I just think there was moments where the Raiders were tried hard but just didn't get much results. And I think this just shows the Cowboys have gotten a bit better, and now they're actually looking like a decent side in season 3. They have got, I mean, they got their forward pack looks dangerous as I touched on, Chris Lord, Kobe Johnston, Thomas Wallace looking good. You got some of these guys who are Jamal Kasaka. He's finally finding his form. Not his form, but finally finding his feet. He'll be guys like him will actually be rated now because the Cowboys will start playing well.
Yeah.
It's something good for the Cowboys. But yeah, the Raiders just weren't good enough. And it's just, as I said, it's a credit to this Cowboys team. Oh, Mark, we have got Mark Iron on here. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, he's here, and we're gonna ask him some questions. Buddy, you got a question to kick him off?
Yeah, I've got a question for Mark. Obviously, not the start of. Okay, never mind. Oh, he's here.
Right.
Sorry, Mark. Obviously, not the start of this start to the season you would have wanted. What have you, as a team and you personally, been focusing on this week to change what happened from last week's performance?
We've really just tried to crack down on the middles, being able to handle pressure that they're getting put under.
Yeah.
I feel like coming into this, with the extended break, the forwards thought that it would have been easier than it was last year because everyone thought that we were going to be a top-notch team. And I just thought, we'll just tackle and they're just going to overpower them, which really, we don't have that power.
Yeah.
We need to a bit more defending than attacking because we've got the two, I would say, two of the best playmakers in the SRL in the halves. We don't need to worry about the attack as much as defending. That's what we're focusing on primarily at training.
Okay.
Let's try the question. Bro, sorry, I nearly forgot your name. Mark, what are your thoughts on Tim James replacing you at fullback next season?
Oh.
Bit of a prat.
Yep, fair enough. Thank you. Anyone have any questions?
Mark, I think so. Yeah, I feel like you guys had as you touched on, you got two of the best halves in the comp. So you got to work around that, and I think so. That leads to my question. Do you reckon what do you reckon went wrong on the weekend? What have you identified? Because I know you've got a big forward back in Luke Malchus on it, Queensland captain. You got Rahul Kawal, you got Sabatua, experience in the forward pack all over. What do you reckon went wrong if you think your forwards just weren't dominant enough?
I feel like it was... The attack was good. After the defending was good. It's just when they solely attack through the middle constantly, we just can't deal with it, and we weren't able to finish our dinner. Whenever we got a hold of the ball, would be right on end, but we weren't going for the proper plays. I feel like we shouldn't have been. Like, wasn't there an offside call? Duke went for a kick. One of our forwards was in front. Like, we can't keep on having them mistakes that are going to end up costing us. We don't want to be that team that's, oh, we're going to come in and dominate and then show that type of performance again. Because we're not that type of team. We've got some of the best players in the SRL. We don't deserve to have the people that support this team feel like that after all the hype that we gave them.
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders they should be doing better on what they did on the week. But I also, as I said earlier, and I'm not going to touch on this too much more, but I think you got to give credit to the Cowboys where it's due. They have gotten a lot better, and yeah, I think it shows.
A quality team. See sparks of that last season. See that they were missing having Liam Ryan in that team. But I feel like they've found what they needed to find their proper potential.
They don't.
Because
They're not on like the kind of that now. They don't even need like a. They don't even have that good of a spine or whatever now. They have a really good forward pack, and they found what works for them.
I think it's just the camaraderie of it.
Yeah.
When you're getting overlooked that much, I feel like that's just human nature that will feel the determination to try and push forward. Because us at the Raiders, we felt that last year. How many people thought they were going to do good?
Yeah.
We ended up playing well. I'm happy that they've found their form, and I strongly believe they'll make finals, possibly the grand final.
Okay, well,
Thank you, Mark. So
big call.
it's a big call, yeah. So are we all ready to move on to the we've got a
To the
big
Broncos.
topic to move on to with before we end this, we'll bring up the recap of a bit of a recap on the game. One of the best plays I've ever seen. Joseph Sangster. What were our thoughts on that kick?
Which one was this?
Who's Joseph Sangster?
All right, let me send the video.
Sorry, mate.
It's all right.
So I don't
it's
know who
all
that
right.
is.
Joseph Sangster. He kicked it.
Bruh. I saw it. He kicked it 800 meters backwards.
Oh,
It went
that
out
one.
for a line drop.
That one, yeah. What was going on there?
I was being sarcastic when I said it was a good kick.
It's a good
No,
kick.
that was very good.
I mean, all he did was kick it the wrong way. It's not
Yeah.
like
Does he play for Souths?
No, he plays for the
Cowboys.
Oh.
Was this the kick where he kicked it like 20 minutes over the sideline and Jack Edward just went,
Yeah.
Yeah, he just
Oh, that
laughed. He was like, "What have I seen?" It's funny as, but
I want us the video then, mate. I want to see this.
I mean, I'll try and get it up on my screen.
Oh, okay.
Let's say this. Okay, let's say. Is it here? Let me say it. Okay.
Whilst this is happening, we should probably move on to the next topic we've got.
Yeah, I think, well, because I aren't going to find that video, I don't think I'm going to find it right away. I think we'll just move on. I'll just say it was a interesting kick.
It was definitely, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
See our
So
next topic.
our next topic is the Dally M scoring. So the Dally M's, we have a new, well, not Dally M, sorry. I am off tonight. So it's called the SRL 360 MVP Award. And each game, one person in the hosts will do an analysis of the game, and they'll also give their 3-2-1s. And at the end of the season, we'll award a winner, and based on these votes. And for these games of the week, the 4 games this week. So the first game, Manly v Broncos. The SRL 360 MVP votes went to 3 Bo Sadler, 2 Jesse Bennett, 1 Chaz Dingo. In the Rabbitohs v Eels game, the SRL 360 MVP points went to 3 Aaron O'Hare, 2 Drake Drenigan, well deserved, 1 Jake Tuss.
What about Joey Kelly or Attila Sittendag? Why don't they get a point?
Because
look, they should get a point, eh?
Look, we're trying to be a little unbiased, which is why.
Unbiased. Mars completely against.
Why don't we just give Tim James all the points?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm being serious. I'm being
Actually,
serious.
why don't we just give me all the points? I deserve all the 0.
I'm being serious here. Like maybe Attila Sendag or Joey. Joey scored 2 kicks off of made 2 tries off of kicks.
Yeah, but I think the players that were chosen are better.
Like, who the hell is Jake Tuss? I've never heard of this guy before.
Bro, he was literally like the third best player in the game.
I didn't even see him play. So put maybe Attila
Sendag. Some people probably sit there at home and think, well, who the hell was this Tim James guy?
Who doesn't know me, bro? What the heck?
Who the hell was this Tim James guy?
Who the hell is this Lachlan guy? He's plays
Bro,
for a shit team.
I literally last night of a Rosie game, I literally scored a double. You have nothing on me except for 5.
Okay.
We don't talk.
Let's
I
move on, boys.
can't play Origin.
Come on,
Oh, yeah,
guys. This is not.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on.
boys.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
We have got a lot to get through, and we don't need this. Okay,
I think we're already 48 minutes in.
No, 37 minutes in.
So the Cowboys v Raiders games.
No, it was okay. We've skipped the Panthers Warriors game. Okay.
Oh, okay.
The voting for that was 3 Liam Rogers, 2 Lachlan Sinclair, 1 Chance Bunce, and then we got the Cowboys v Raiders game. 3 Chris Lord, 2 Luka Moscow, 1 Jamalka Sarkar.
Yeah. They all seem pretty fair.
Yeah. We chose them, so obviously it would be fair.
Okay, so the next thing we got here tonight is we have got the news in the SRL. And one of the biggest new things in the SRL, and it sparked a lot of discussion. Yesterday, in the week, there was an announcement by the SRL League Commission that there would be SRL State of Origin returning this season, and the dates are as follows. So we have got Origin 1 on Game 1 on June 28th, which is only 24 days away. And then the week after that, Game 2, July 5th, and Game 3, July 12th. I'm really excited for SRL State of Origin and them. Yeah, but I think... And we got another announcement that today we got an announcement that Chaz Dingo and Luke Malkus would be continuing as the captains, which I really like this decision.
Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on this?
Well deserved. Well deserved. Chaz Dingo definitely deserves that captain spot.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. And also, we've got yourself and Justin Plays as the selection team for Queensland, and Chapman Kenny, Jack O'Neill
What are
as
our
the
thoughts
selection team
on the selection team?
for New South Wales.
Pretty shit.
I think it's what you expect. I wouldn't really expect
Why
much
would they
else.
pick Lachlan?
They didn't pick me.
Wait, what are you talking about? What's going on here?
The selection team for each club.
Oh,
They have Liam, and then they have Justin for Queensland, and then they got Kane, Chapman Kenny, and Jack O'Neill for New South Wales.
Oh.
I don't really want to say my thoughts on it.
I don't think I'm on the bright side of Kane, so he probably...
No, I think it makes sense. I think
Yeah, it's
both
alright.
players make sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I
Definitely.
don't know if I want to say what I want to say here.
Say
No,
it,
say
bro.
what you want to say.
No, I'm not.
No, say what you want to say.
You've
It'll be
said
really
it.
funny.
You've got to say it now.
Yeah, you can't just leave us on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you after.
No, don't. No, tell us now.
Something. Okay. Something that I want to spark a debate. We were talking about this before. Before the show, eligibility rules.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm not very, not very
So now,
fond
now
of
he
them.
doesn't want to argue with me about why I agree with the
You're not
decision.
speaking, BITCH. You're not speaking, mate. Okay, so what Lachlan said before was, like, what did you say before, Lachlan? Because it was like
Okay,
really
so
dumb.
what I said was I 100% agree and understand why Comish and Jack and have done this, where they make it so that you can't be like you can't have to be part of a tier one. You have to be part of Australia as your origin country in order to play for New South Wales and Queensland. It makes sense
Wait, could you
because
say that again? I wasn't listening.
basically it makes sense why Jack and Neil and Comish made this decision, and I agree with it
Why do you agree with it?
because it just makes it more fair. All right, so imagine you're like say you play for Tonga, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're 100% committed to Tonga. You want to play for Tonga, right? But then
Right.
some guy comes
Yeah.
across who's in your same position, plays for New South Wales, is a better player, and then just comes in at the World Cup and takes your position because, you know, they're just like they're a good player and they don't want to actually they don't intend to play for Australia, but they're playing for New South Wales. It makes sense, and I agree with the decision that they've made to do this. I know a lot of people disagree.
Well,
That's
when
my
you're in
thought.
the shoes of let's say Eli Barnes or Tim James, Tim James. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but being the best hooker in the game, I do think that I should play for Blues, and that's what I picked. Like, I want to play for Tonga, but I also want to play for my state. So, like,
Well, I think you should have to pick either the state or Tonga. Simple as that.
or I could just play both because I'm the best in both areas.
Well, that's not
What do
really
you
fair.
mean, bro?
You should
How's
have
that
to
not
commit
fair?
to it. You should have to commit to it. Otherwise,
How's that not
because
fair?
otherwise, what's going to happen is it's just not fair. You can't just do that. I get why they did it.
That doesn't help your point. You
My-
can't do that because you just can't do that. You can't do that because you just can't do that, mate.
Because
that doesn't help.
unfair. It's
That's
unfair.
not unfair.
It's unfair
You're
to
just
other
scared of
SRL
losing your
players.
spot in the Origin team.
No, I'm
That's
not.
what- that's
Who would
what you're
take
scared
it?
of.
If that was it, who would take it from me?
Samuel Lillard, who will take it? He'll shit all over you. That's what he'll do.
Okay.
He'll take it.
My
I'm not-
my view on this is I think that you should be able to
Yeah.
play Origin if you are from a tier 2 nation, solely based around the fact that you still have to beat out a lot of the Australian players, and there's a lot more Australian players than there are Samoan and Tongan players.
Yeah.
There's more states than
Combined.
Tonga, mate. Not states. There's more countries than Tonga. You don't need to keep using that as an example.
Yeah,
It's
so
like Samoa. Maybe John
I'm-
Collins.
That's the one other country you can play name.
Fiji. Fiji.
Also, I feel for a lot of the European boys at the moment, because first of all, they don't have a team. Like we do not have a team to play any rep footy, so we're a couple seasons off even playing a single game of rep footy. So I do feel for the European boys, and that's the only reason why I would see using tier 2 nations is so that they can play rep footy
Exactly.
sooner, because there probably won't be a Pacific or European game this year because we've already had the Anzac match, and so you're basically letting the Australian team double up on rep footy whilst not allowing other countries to play any in a whole season. And
Yeah.
that's my view on
Well,
Origin
there could be like an idea where you can play one. So you say you get like selected for like Origin in your country. So example me. So I'll use me as an example. I selected New South Wales and Tonga. You're picked for both, but you can start on one, but you have to bench like on the other one. So let's say you want to start, like you're selected to play number 9, start number 9 on Origin, but that means you can't start number 9 in Tonga.
How
So
does that
like,
make any sense? That would not. No, that would
it
not
sounded
work.
so much better in my head. It
That would
sounded
not
so
work.
much better in my head.
Another reason they can't do this right is it's sort of this like a thing right, where when you're creating a player, right, you've got to now pick whether you want to contest your career to play for New South Wales and Australia, or you want to go get an easier job where you'll be guaranteed starting probably, or at least on the bench for one of the smaller nations.
Well, I could be 100% wrong here, but back at this in season 1, was it clear that only Australians could play?
Yeah. No, they made that rule early
strictly.
on.
I made that. I remember it very early when SRL started. I was one of the first players. I did my form, and I do not remember one bit of it saying that, like
Yeah.
Australia, only Australians could play Origin. So that's
Yeah.
like, it's either probably my fault or it's just like a problem on Commerce's end.
No,
Not kind of
I'm
contested out.
I'm with you, Tim. I came a little bit later in that season, and I still don't remember it's saying that. I could be definitely wrong here, but by implementing a rule later on, you've kind of like, sorry, Tim, would you still have chosen were you Samoan or
I'm Tongan.
Tongan? Would you have chosen to play for Tonga if you had known you couldn't play any Origin at all?
I would have gone with yeah, it's a bit hard on that because would you rather play for your state or for your heritage?
Yeah,
It's a bit hard on that one. But
there
that's
would
what I thought it wasn't. You could play for
Yeah.
Tonga, and you could also play for New South Wales or Queensland. So that's what my idea was. I thought we could play for both.
Yeah.
Because in real life, like you got Katoni Staggs, like he's been picked in New South Wales, but he
Yeah,
might
but the
not.
difference is, can I point out with real life? The difference is though, a lot of those players are just playing for Tonga until they pick for Australia. Like if they had, I think the only example I know of is Luai. I think nearly every other player in real life, if they were given the opportunity, they pick Australia over their regular like for second tier nation. The difference is though, when you guys are playing for Tonga, you guys are saying if you play for New South Wales, but when it comes to the World Cup, you're playing for Tongan, not Australia.
Like, repeat that. Sorry, I was just
Oh my.
repeat that.
Okay, so basically the difference is right. Almost every single player IRL, right, would choose to play for Australia given the option. They just play for a tier 2 nation. Apart from what? Law's the only other example that I think would pick Samoa over Australia. They're just playing for a tier 2 nation until they have the ability to play for Australia, right? But in the SRL, a lot of you guys that want to play for New South Wales aren't playing for Australia in the World Cup. You're playing for a different team. How's that fair?
Oh,
New South Wales
maybe.
and Queensland match should be basically a selection where Jackson Allison can look at the game and have a better idea what his Australian squad's going to be afterwards. But instead, you're going to have a bunch of players who aren't even going to be playing for Australia.
Yeah. No, it's just we'll see what Comish does about it because I do remember
not gonna
them talking to it or Jack.
Oh, bro. My thoughts on. I haven't had a chance to say what I think on this,
Yeah,
but
let's hear you.
I think personally, it is not. I think there is not a harm in the tier 2 players being able to play. I think tiers like as Tonga, Samoa should be able to play because I just don't see an issue. Like the better players that play in Origin, the better. Like the more players Don't you want more competition?
Yeah, exactly. It's a good idea, Liam. I love that, mate. Like, I'm going to use real life for an example again, because you said that Luai would love to play for Samoa, but also New South Wales. Like,
And he's the only example I wrote. Every other player I can guarantee. I guarantee if Katoni Staggs had the option to play for a Tonga or Australia, he'd pick Australia. He's just eligible for Tonga, so he plays for it.
Have you asked him about it, though? Have you personally talked to him?
No, but I guarantee you he'd pick Australia.
Do you know?
He hasn't even ever lived in Tonga. His parents
have you had a conversation with Katoni?
Oh, but
what about Daniel Tupou?
That's not Tim. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that he would pick Australia at the end of the day. But if it is, you boys, when you guys are playing for New South Wales, you guys aren't going to be playing for Australia. You guys are just going to be playing for Tongan. Why is that fair? State of Origin should be a match where Jackson Ellis can sit down with his selection crew and be able to look at the team, right, 2 teams, and have a better idea of what his Australian squad's going to be. He won't be able to do that if all you guys who aren't even eligible for Australia play.
I think, Lachlan, I think you're overestimating how many of the tier 2 players would actually get picked for Origin.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking.
I'd say it'd be about a quarter.
I think it would
there wouldn't be
less
that
than
much. There would not be that much.
I think
name some good.
Well, I think it'd be. I think I'm not players off the top of my head of who get selected. I think you'd get selected. Tim Eli Barnes would get selected.
Did Eli Barnes select New South Wales? Did he want to represent New South Wales?
Yeah, on the sheet it says New South Wales. It said New South Wales at one point. It said New South Wales Fiji.
I think there would be, Lachlan, I think there would be 5 to 6 people overall, like in both teams, that would be picked from tier 2 nations.
Even so, you're taking the. Even so, I still don't think it's fair.
Well, I think
that the fairest thing to do is to maybe he should have given you if that thing wasn't on the floor, maybe he should have given you the option to switch if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I still don't think it's fair for him to have let you, if you're not playing for Australia, to play for New South Wales or Queensland.
I think there should be an ability to allow you to switch.
It'd be a bit too much for Commish to do. Yeah, unless all the Pacific Cup players want to stay and play for their countries, then that's fine.
What would you choose? Would you choose New South Wales or Tongan?
See, I haven't decided on that yet.
Well, you can't decide on them.
What's bigger? Anyway. What's bigger, New South Wales or your own country? So it's all hard. It's all
Tim.
Hard to decide on.
If you chose New South Wales, you would also be eligible then to play for Australia. Is what?
Yeah, I think that if you're playing for State of Origin, you should be playing for Australia if you get selected, and you can't be selected for anything else. That's what I think.
I'm gonna stick with my.
We've been arguing for too long. Should we move on to the next topic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next topic is, so we got the round 2 power rankings.
Round 1 power.
Round 1. Sorry, I am all over the shop tonight. I don't know why. Just off my head. The Manly Seagulls are in first. They had an awesome game in their round 1 clash with the Broncos. They just dominated. And I think it shows with their big forwards. They were so dominant. It wasn't even funny, and Broncos made it look silly. In second spot, South Sydney Rabbitohs. Not many, I don't think, would expect Souths to be this high in the power rankings. After round 1. No, what I'm saying is, if you told me last week, I don't think many would have said, Souths are going to be second. I think many would have thought. I think many would have thought last week that Souths are close to wooden spoon. Now I'm confident that we're going to be a good team. So I think it should all change very quickly. And I think Souths looked really good last week. And guys like Drake Drenigan, Phil, and Isaac Edwards, Ash Crutcher, they all did a job. Jake Tass, they all did a job last week. And in third, that moves on to my third team. Is the New Zealand Warriors. They looked really good last week. They looked good, but they did get a lot of their points off the back of silly errors from Penrith.
Yeah, definitely.
Penrith's offloading was just silly. It was a
Yeah.
sloppy game, and I don't know why Penrith was so giving the balls. It was like they were just giving presents to It was just like they were giving gift wrap tries to Warriors.
Yeah.
It was awful from Penrith to effort, and they really need to improve next week. In fourth, the team from up north, North Queensland Cowboys. Were really good last week, and I'm actually really excited for them. They deserve this after a hard first 2 seasons to have actually won and beaten a team convincingly at home. I think they are a real force for season 3, and I think we'll see why in the next few weeks. And I'm really excited what they'll bring this season. In fifth, Parramatta Eels, Tim's team. What were your thoughts on your team this week, Tim?
I still think we can bounce back up to first. It was just all off of those silly errors. I still think we still have it in us.
I think it would need a big win, 30 plus, to jump all the way up.
Well, yeah, we would. I think, we still have it in us. Like, it was just the silly errors last week, like I said before. Like, it's just, we need to, think smart and just hold the ball and play simple footy, and that's it. And I still think we have it in us. So,
I don't know. With the Eels, they're an interesting team at the moment. They come up against the Raiders team that wasn't very good last week. Obviously, we'll talk about that more later, right? But I don't know what to take out of that performance because, on one hand, it's concerning that it was only one play to create all the tries. On the other hand, it was only round 1. So we'll have to see how they go against the Raiders this week.
it's only round 1. Like, we can't decide on it too soon.
Yeah, for sure.
But I hope Eels flop and I hope they don't make finals because we hate deals around here, or at least I do.
No, well,
speak for yourself.
at least we've made the finals all 2 seasons. We've won
Have
one.
you finished with a 4 out of 3 record 2 seasons in a row, winning more games than you've lost both seasons in a row and still miss finals? That's a
Nope.
record only the Tigers would have in the NRL. We have it here in the SRL.
Is
But
that a good record in your eyes? You reckon that's good?
we're better than the Cowboys.
Yeah.
You're better than the Cowboys in
We're better
what?
than the Cowboys. Well, we're
In
better than the
season
Cowboys.
3?
No, we're better than the Cowboys in the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, and
And you guys are not going to be better than them this season. Like I predicted, you guys are going to be the second Wooded Spooners if Manly don't.
We'll see how we go.
okay. That brings us on to the Brisbane Broncos in 6th. That was a performance where some players have tried really hard, in Levi Raymond especially, but their forward just got dominated through the middle, and I think it was a bit embarrassing for them to really be out dominated by those Manly middles. Like, I think it's shown up early, like Jesse Bennett with that punch, Brad Goodwin with some punch, and Bo Sadler. All the middles just rose up and just decided, hey, we're going to come here early and we're going to dominate and we're going to try and smash them out of the park through those middles. And Broncos just couldn't handle it. It was simple as that. Yeah,
Mm.
I agree with Pete what he's just saying now. I'll just read like the first line.
Pete in the chat. Okay, let me read what he said. Just listening to SRL 360 and Lachlan, your point about other nations not being able to play for Australia is complete bullshit.
My idea, sorry, Leo, to cut you off, but my idea here, Lachlan, is just, I think you're a bit afraid of losing your spot in the Blues team. Is what
I'm not afraid of anything. Sorry for swearing there
Yes,
for a
you
second.
are.
I'm not afraid of losing anything. No, that's not
I
it.
believe you are.
I'm genuinely just trying to
You're
give
worried Samuel
perspective to
Lillard
what
will
Comish
come
is
out of
saying.
nowhere.
The reason Comish has done this is if you play for New South Wales, you should have to play for Australia, and he couldn't. Like maybe he
No.
should have made it that you could pick between them. But that's
Nope.
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Firstly, what isn't fair is the fact that I'll just continue reading. Don't get to play any rep games, whilst Australian picked get an ease because they get to do everything. Secondly, a point about what we should pledge our alliance is dumb because we literally don't get that choice. Even if we beg to Comish about changing plus, we don't even get to play for our nation because it's just Australia playing everything. Thirdly, you can't speak on this topic because if you're in our shoes, you would agree with us.
If you really disagree that much,
so
if you really disagree that much, don't talk to me about it. I'm just simply giving perspective.
Yeah, but
And that's the reason he's done it, and I support it. I'm not going to argue with him.
Yeah, no, I just think that like if we're not going to get in Origin, then I think we should get more games. As much as Australia do, then if we're not going to get an Origin, I think we deserve a bit more games. As Tonga, we have nearly a full squad, so we should get like the same treatment. Maybe Australia versus some team like Tonga or some shit like that, like maybe Four Nations.
Yeah,
what they did a few years ago.
Yeah, I agree with what Pete's saying. I think.
Can I ask where this been said?
It's in our SRL chat in the SRL 360.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, I muted that. I forget about that.
Okay, we'll move on to the next team in the power rankings. I think we're up to Penrith. What were our thoughts on Penrith this week?
Yeah, it was just sloppy.
Trash as usual. That's what they do.
It was just some sloppy stuff. I
Yeah.
think they can bounce back if they just get rid of those errors and put up a solid performance. But I just think it's a really sloppy performance.
Yeah, it's just, is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. And in 8th, finally, is the Canberra Raiders. They looked bloody awful.
How much did they lose by?
26.
Oh, Jesus. Poor Canberra.
They didn't even score a try.
They have literally the most firepower, I'd say close to the most firepower in the comp. They have Mark Iron, Jack O'Neill, Luke Thompson, Samuel Atchison couldn't score a point.
They would have had me.
And I think it's a credit to the Cowboys. The Cowboys just stopped. The Cowboys middles were too good. Jamal Kasaka was brilliant. Chris Lord, brilliant. Kobe Johnston, brilliant.
To see Kobe Johnston blasting away.
With the Raiders, I do want to say something. Why the hell is a gold rated player in Sonatar on the bench?
Where does he go though?
He's injured. Isn't he injured though?
No, he wasn't injured last week, and he's not injured this week. Is he still on the bench this week?
Doesn't he play wing? Put him on the wing.
No, he changed his position to 5'8" halves. Halfback,
put him
fullback.
into the half.
5'8" halfback, fullback.
Who plays half?
Personally, I think that he should be in this. He should be in somewhere. And personally, I know people are going to disagree with me with this. I'd move Mark Iron to the centers, and I'd move Tony Tyre to fullback.
Sonny Tyre has shown me multiple times that
he was probably one of our better players. He was one of Penrith's better players last year.
He's not good enough to play fullback. He's not good enough to be taking that spot from Mark Iron. Mark Iron is a quality player, and I think you're just underestimating Mark Iron.
I think he's a quality player, but I think Sonatai's better.
No, he's
His
not.
free rating's higher. 2 free ratings
Doesn't
higher. He's a gold
matter.
player on the bench.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, ratings don't really matter.
Well, the
that
other
much.
option is the other
Jack
option that I
O'Neill's a
think that should
god, and
happen.
he's 62 overall.
The other, let me jump in here. The other option I think we should do is move Sonatai to 5'8" or Harper, or whatever position Jack O'Neill's playing. Then move Jack O'Neill to fullback and Mark Guy to centre. I just think he's too good to have on
is
the
even
bench.
worse at halves in the halves than he is at.
Yes, I think he just needs to be somewhere in the team. I just don't like him on the bench.
I don't like it. I think if you're gonna chuck him in the team, which you can't do anymore, I don't know why he changed himself from a winger. I would have kept himself on the wing because I think that's his best position.
I wouldn't be surprised if he finds a way out of the Tampa system, though, to be honest.
All good.
But we'll talk about that later.
Alright.
Actually, one point I do want to bring up, though, I forgot to bring up the SRL news, but I wanted to bring up my idea about the All-Stars game that I brought up earlier to sort of set all this Origin crap. So, my idea for an All-Stars game is, I posted this in the suggestion channel earlier on, that the SRL players get to vote on 2 captains, and those 2 captains can take turns drafting a team, and that team goes head-to-head in an All-Stars clash. That way, everyone can have a chance to be selected.
Yeah, I like that.
What's everyone thoughts? Is that going to be it? Is just going to be explaining that's going to be it?
Yeah, I like it. It's a good idea.
It is a good
Thank
idea.
you.
I like it. It's definitely a idea that I think it's sort of like the NBA All-Star game, sort of.
Oh,
And I really like that
think-
idea.
You think it's not exactly what it is?
It is exactly what it is. It's
Yeah,
literally
it's
exactly what it is. I thought it was NFL when I got it off. NFL that did it. Is it
Nah,
NBA that does
NFL
it?
don't do
I don't
it,
watch
they
it.
go
I don't watch
track.
either of them. I thought it was NFL that did it. I stole it off. I know I stole it off some American sport, but I thought it was NFL that did it.
Yep. Okay. I think it's a good idea. But we'll move on. So, I think this brings us all the way. We're nearing the end of the episode now. I think we're gonna go down on to our round 2 tips. What do you think on that? So
Who
Yeah,
plays
sounds
first?
good.
Who plays first exactly?
It's Raiders and Eels actually.
Yeah. Well, I reckon Eagles will probably get a 1 to 12 win. With Eli Barnes crossing over at least any time.
I'm gonna go for the upset here. I'm gonna tip the Raiders.
Right.
I just have a feeling they'll bounce back.
For the first time, I think I'm gonna agree with Tim for the first time. Eels 1 to 12. Think the Eels are gonna have a much better game, and I don't think the Raiders are quite there yet with their team. They're still trying to figure some key positions out.
How have they gone backwards though? Like their team hasn't changed yet, but you guys are saying the team hasn't figured out yet.
Well, they just
Did you
seem
watch
lost.
the game last week?
Yeah, I know they just lost last week, but what's changed between this season and the last year that caused that sort of performance?
Well, no, they just seem confused and lost out on the field. Like I don't know what's happened over the off season, but it's almost a lack of confidence. I don't know what's happened.
who'd they lose? They lost Bo Sadler. That's bloody why.
But
Yeah,
he's not
Sadler was
like
big.
that
Bo
massive. They got
Sadler is a
Samuel
huge
Atkinson back.
leader, and I actually think he is a huge reason they
Yeah, but they got
just
Samuel
look-
Atkinson. He's one of the best hookers.
I will say this: Bo Sadler is one of the best leaders in the SRL, hands down. He literally in the season 1 he was at the Broncos. Where'd the Broncos finish? First on the ladder. Season 2, he went to the Raiders. Team thought wouldn't do well. Finished finals. He was incredible. He was incredible for the Broncos too. Broncos went terrible in season 2 when they lost him. It's not a coincidence that the Raiders were terrible last week without him and looked lost.
I think it's Sammy Hastings isn't someone to scoff at. I understand that he's only won 2 games in 40 games in the SRL, but he's still on the better dummy half. It's not his fault that they're not doing well. Like I still think
Samuel Atchison isn't a leader though. Someone needs to step up and say, "Hey, I'm the leader here."
Y'all could have had me. They could have had me.
I'm
Poor
gonna.
Raiders.
Someone needs to step up and go to the boys and just go. Okay, I'm gonna lead the team around, and when the team gets tough, I'm gonna be the one to say, "Boys, let's keep our heads high. Let's try and motivate the boys," like someone like Bo Sadler did. I think he just keeps them calm, and that's what a good teams need. That little leader that keeps the team calm.
So the next game is Broncos v Cowboys. Who are we tipping, boys?
Broncos v Cowboys.
I've just realised something now. All the teams that won this week are versus all the teams that lost.
Yeah, probably Cowboys.
Bro, this could be real bad. At the end of the round, we could have 4 teams with 4 points and 4 teams on no points.
Oh man.
No, Eels. Wait.
No, Rabbitohs are versus Warriors.
Rabbitohs won, Warriors lost. Oh no, Warriors, fuck. Never mind, I'm stupid. I shouldn't swear. Right, I'm stupid. Never mind.
All good.
Never mind. That was sorry about that, but
It's
never
all
mind.
good. It's all good.
I'm stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought for some reason I thought the Eels won and the Warriors lost.
No.
Okay, never mind. Continue on then. Broncos v Cowboys.
Broncos v Cowboys.
That's an
This will
easy
be-
Cowboys.
The
1 to
Cowboys
12.
will just continue on, Tim.
Oh, sorry. It's an easy 1 to 12 for Cowboys, I reckon. And I reckon my mate Kobe will go over 1 at least.
It's fair.
More tips.
Buddy, you want a tip?
I don't think he wants a tip, eh?
What?
You want to?
You want a tip?
Oh shit. I'm gonna go Cowboys 1 to 12. Sorry, I was just playing some Clash of Clans.
Clash Royale?
Or at least you have priorities.
Wait, you play Clash Royale? Hold on, okay, I'm getting distracted. Continue, Butters.
Yeah, I think the Broncos aren't quite. They've definitely improved from last season, but I don't think they've improved as much as the Cowboys have, and I think the Cowboys are top 4 threats this season.
I think for my tip, I think I'll go the Cowboys for a huge win. I'll go 13 plus, and I've got a special. I'm going Chris Lord 2 try assists to back it up. He'll have 4 try assists after the first 2 weeks.
I'm gonna also make a bold prediction here. I'm gonna say Cowboys to keep the Broncos scoreless and go 2 games in a row without conceding a point. And I'm gonna say Cowboys 13 plus. That's my bold prediction.
Fair.
2 games in a row, keeping the team scoreless.
What game's next? Is it?
The next game, Rabbitohs
Warriors.
v Warriors.
Yeah, Warriors, Rabbitohs.
Oh yeah. Rabbitohs Warriors. What are our tips?
Wasn't Lachlan just speaking? Back to him.
Huh?
Did I just cut out? The hell?
No. I'm gonna go for Rabbitohs in this situation. I think the Warriors kind of got a little not lucky. They should have won that game, and they did, but I think the scoreline would have been a lot less if the Panthers team didn't make those silly passes that gave them the field position. And so I think the Rabbitohs played a much tougher opponent, and managed to beat them. So I think the Rabbitohs 1-12.
Nice
Oh, yeah.
prediction, Butters. Love
Fair
it.
point. Looking at these teams, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna tip the upset here. I'm sorry, Liam, but I'm gonna tip the upset. I'm gonna tip the Warriors by the 12. I don't know. I just got
Why
a
do you
feeling.
keep tipping the upsets, bro?
I just got a feeling,
You got a feeling Penrith will win every week, but they don't.
Well, we'll see.
Sick.
We'll see about that because I'm probably not going to tip Penrith this week. But anyway,
I think so my tip this week for the Rabbitohs v Warriors game, I am going to go Rabbitohs 1-12, and I will go Drake Dranigan to score. What's the last game they're on?
Panthers and Manly.
Beat me to it.
Okay, Panthers v Manly tips.
I think as a Manly's player, you got to tip Manly. And of course, on top of that, their performance last week was pretty good. They need to cut down. Sorry, we need to cut down on just allowing teams to get those little periods of try scorings. But I think other than that, we had a really good game, and I think we'll win this one pretty easily, Lachlan. At 13 plus.
Very scared this week. Like I'm not even sugarcoat it. I am very nervous. I want us to win, but it's gonna be a tough outing. And I'll say for now, Manly. We'll go Manly 1-12. Just give us a little bit of hope. But if I was tipping non-biased, I'd say Manly 13 plus. Yeah, I'm very nervous this week.
Alright.
Right,
Yeah.
mate. It's alright.
Who's up next?
Okay, I'll tip. Manly v Panthers. I will go. I feel like I'll go Manly 1-12, and I'll go a bit of a bold prediction to score. I'll go Ryder Chisholm to get his first SRL try.
Ew.
He's a big fella.
Who's playing? Panthers versus Manly. Shoot. Manly,
Sides.
yeah, Manly, obviously both wooden spoon contenders, so probably maybe Manly.
Tip the upset. Come on, Tim. Tip the
It'll be a
upset.
pretty
Tip
close
Penrith.
game. It'll be a
Tip
pretty
Penrith.
close game. I reckon Manly to win by probably, I'd probably say around 30 points. That's pretty close, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they win by 30 points, I won't make it to the end of the game.
I'll win it by maybe even 40. And I reckon what's my mate's name?
I've already been through 140 point smashing. Don't let me to go through another.
Oh, let me just pick out a player I reckon will score for Manly. Who's a good mate of mine? Maybe
That is.
Yeah.
who's someone I respect?
Oh, okay, then it's not me.
Probably Matt Harris. Bro's the big captain, so I reckon he'll cross over. He'll do pretty good. He'll carry the team as always. Butters to drop the ball at least 4 times, and
Yeah,
Lachlan Martin to get probably sin binned. Yeah, sin binned.
Yeah, I'll get sin binned in that game.
And tears his ACL.
Oh no, I'm benched for the next game.
Yeah, he's benched for the next game for his ACL. Bold prediction by me, mate. I reckon.
First ever player that's not a lock or fullback to get injured.
Exactly.
Still not playing lock this week, so.
Yeah, is it time to wrap the segment up, guys?
It is time. Well, it's actually time to wrap the whole episode up. Thank you guys for coming on this week, and thank you to Mark, thank you to Tyrone, thank you to my co-hosts, And thank you to you guys for watching this episode. And I'd like to thank Chaz Dingo for making this graphic that you guys are seeing in the background. The viewers are watching. I didn't even ask for this to be made. Chaz Dingo made it for me. That shows the kind of guy he is. And I'm very grateful for what Chaz Dingo does for the SRL in general. So thank you guys for watching this week. And yeah, we're gonna wrap the episode up. And